France signs declaration supporting Ukraine's move towards NATO membership.
Here's a summary of the article.
President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky and French President Emmanuel Macron adopted a joint declaration in which, among other things, Paris expresses support for Ukraine's move towards NATO membership. Details. According to the declaration, within NATO, France continues to focus on direct support for Ukraine. At the same time, France fully supports the Ukraine-NATO Commission as a platform for further strengthening and expanding the current cooperation to help Ukraine move towards the Euro-Atlantic family in accordance with the Bucharest Declaration. The declaration defines Ukraine's path to full membership, but through the stage of the Membership Action Plan, which Kyiv is not satisfied with now. As a separate clause, the declaration notes that Ukraine and France look forward to resolving these issues at the NATO summit in Vilnius in July 2023. Ihor Zhovkwa, deputy head of the Office of the President, commented on the document, noting that the approval of the declaration, with similar wording regarding NATO, was simply impossible before. Quote, "The joint declaration made it possible to strengthen Ukraine's support in the Euro-Atlantic direction with one more important voice," Zhovkwa noted.
This post received a score of 6,000, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky and French President Emmanuel Macron adopted a joint declaration in which, among other things, Paris expresses support for Ukraine's move towards NATO membership.
They deserve, at the very least, a clear path to membership. Everyone knows the first step on that path. Ukraine knows it. France knows it. It is to end war with Russia. Unfortunately, Russia also knows it, so they are very keen on not ending the war, because then Ukraine will never be able to join.
Well, they can't keep fighting a war with Ukraine forever. All they're doing is delaying the inevitable. By the way, I would say Ukraine is practically being treated as a member by the alliance. I mean almost lol, they're being armed, trained, supplied, and given access to intelligence by the alliance. The only thing that NATO isn't doing is joining their war against Russia, which isn't something NATO wants to do anyway, I'd imagine. I'm willing to bet if Russia didn't have nukes, NATO would have curb-stomped Russia and left Moscow in ruins.
Greater than, well, they can't keep fighting a war with Ukraine forever. In a sense, they can. And very arguably, Putin specifically intends to, so long as he lives. Precisely because Russia has no clear path to military victory, but Putin also cannot afford, domestically, any concessions a diplomatic arrangement might entail. So a permanent and costly but more or less sustainable war is the logical outcome, for the near future, from a Russian political standpoint.
You done fucked up, Poots.
Herdur, we had to invade Ukraine to stop NATO expansion. 11 feet result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russia's border with NATO, previously 1,215 kilometers, has now more than doubled with Finland joining the alliance, plus 1,300 kilometers, and will almost double again when Ukraine inevitably joins, plus 2,300 kilometers. As ever, Putin remains a master strategist.
He wanted to stop the NATO expansion, but actually became the reason for further NATO expansion.
Putin already was the reason NATO could expand. Trying to do something about it just showed the world how impotent his position was.
Puts the old John Hancock on that declaration.
Une bonne nouvelle.
Anyone explain how this works? So say Ukraine joins 3 months down the line, does that mean NATO just comes in guns blazing if Putin's still attacking Ukraine?
There's guidelines for nations that want to join NATO. But the big one is, new members must be invited by a consensus of existing NATO members. In short, I doubt that consensus has a chance of happening before the conflict is resolved. If NATO wanted to turn the heat up to max on this war, letting Ukraine into NATO would be the easiest way to do it.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.